The Book of Yirmeyahu, also called the Book of Jeremiah, chapter 25. The word that came to Yirmeyahu concerning all the people of Yahudah in the 4th year of Yahuyakim, the son of Yoshiyahu, king of Yahudah. That was the 1st year of Nebuchadnezzar, king of Babel, the which Yirmeyahu the prophet spoke unto all the people of Yahudah, and to all the inhabitants of Jerusalem, saying, From the 13th year of Yoshiyahu, the son of Ammon, king of Yahudah, even unto this day, that is the 23rd year, the word of Yahuah has come unto me, and I have spoken unto you, rising early and speaking. But ye have not hearkened, and Yahuah has sent unto you all his servants the prophets, rising early and sending them. But ye have not hearkened, nor inclined your ear to hear. They said, Turn ye again now every one from his evil way, and from the evil of your doings, and dwell in the land that Yahuah has given unto you and to your fathers forever and ever. And go not after other Elohim to serve them, and to worship them, and provoke me not to anger with the works of your hands, and I will do you no hurt. Yet ye have not hearkened unto me, says Yahuah, that ye might provoke me to anger with the works of your hands to your own hurt. Therefore thus says Yahuah Tsevaoth, because ye have not heard my words. Behold, I will send and take all the families of the north, says Yahuah, and Nebuchadnezzar the king of Babel my servant, and will bring them against this land, and against the inhabitants thereof, against all these nations round about, and will utterly destroy them, and make them an astonishment, and a hissing and perpetual desolations. Moreover, I will take from them the voice of mirth, and the voice of gladness, the voice of the bridegroom, and the voice of the bride, the sound of the millstones, and the light of the candle. And this whole land shall be a desolation, and an astonishment. And these nations shall serve the king of Babel 70 years. And it shall come to pass, when 70 years are accomplished, that I will punish the king of Babel, and that nation, says Yahuah, for their iniquity, and the land of the Kasdim, and will make it perpetual desolations. And I will bring upon that land all my words which I have pronounced against it, even all that is written in this Cepher, which Yirmeyahu has prophesied against all the nations. For many nations and great kings shall serve themselves of them also, and I will recompense them according to their deeds, and according to the works of their own hands. For thus says Yahuah Elohai of Yashar'el unto me, Take the wine cup of this fury at my hand, and cause all the nations, to whom I send you, to drink it, and they shall drink, and be moved, and be mad, because of the sword that I will send among them. Then took I the cup at Yahuah's hand, and made all the nations to drink, unto whom Yahuah had sent me, to wit, Jerusalem, and the cities of Yahudah, and the kings thereof, and the princes thereof, to make them a desolation, an astonishment, a hissing, and a curse, as it is this day. Pharaoh king of Mitzrayim, and his servants, and his princes, and all his people, and all the mingled people, and all the kings of the land of Uz, and all the kings of the land of the Pelishtim, and Ashkelon, and Gaza, and Ekron, and the remnant of Ashdod, Edom, and Moab, and the children of Ammon, and all the kings of Sor, and all the kings of Sidon, and the kings of the isles which are beyond the sea, Dedan, and Tema, and Buz, and all that are in the utmost corners, and all the kings of Arav, and all the kings of the mingled people that dwell in the desert, and all the kings of Zimri, and all the kings of Elam, and all the kings of Madai, and all the kings of the north, far and near, one with another, and all the kingdoms of the world, which are upon the face of the earth, and the king of Sheshach shall drink after them. Therefore you shall say unto them, Thus says Yahuah Tsevaoth, the Elohai of Yashar'el, Drink ye, and be drunken, and spew, and fall, and rise no more, because of the sword which I will send among you. And it shall be, if they refuse to take the cup at your hand to drink, then shall you say unto them, Thus says Yahuah Tsevaoth, Ye shall certainly drink. For lo, I begin to bring evil on the city, which is called by my name, and should ye be utterly unpunished. Ye shall not be unpunished, for I will call for a sword upon all the inhabitants of the earth, says Yahuah Tsevaoth. Therefore prophesy you against them all these words, and say unto them, Yahuah shall roar from on high, and utter his voice from his holy habitation. He shall mightily roar upon his habitation. He shall give a shout, as they that tread the grapes, against all the inhabitants of the earth. A noise shall come even to the ends of the earth, for Yahuah has a controversy with the nations. He will plead with all flesh. He will give them that are wicked to the sword, says Yahuah. Thus says Yahuah Tsevaoth, Behold, evil shall go forth from nation to nation, and a great whirlwind shall be raised up from the coasts of the earth. And the slain of Yahuah shall be at that day from one end of the earth, even unto the other end of the earth. They shall not be lamented, neither gathered nor buried. They shall be dung upon the ground. Howl, ye shepherds, and cry, and wallow yourselves in the ashes, ye principal of the flock. For the days of your slaughter and of your dispersions are accomplished, and ye shall fall like a pleasant vessel. And the shepherd shall have no way to flee, nor the principal of the flock to escape. A voice of the cry of the shepherds, and a howling of the principal of the flock shall be heard. For Yahuah has spoiled their pasture, and the peaceable habitations are cut down because of the fierce anger of Yahuah. He has forsaken his covert as the lion, for their land is desolate because of the fierceness of the oppressor, and because of his fierce anger. Chapter 26. In the beginning of the reign of Yahoiakim, the son of Yoshiyahu, king of Yahudah, came this word from Yahuah, saying, Thus says Yahuah, Stand in the court of Yahuah's house, and speak unto all the cities of Yahudah, which come to worship in Yahuah's house, all the words that I command you to speak unto them. Diminish not a word. If so be they will hearken, and turn every man from his evil way, that I may repent of the evil, which I purpose to do unto them, because of the evil of their doings. And you shall say unto them, Thus says Yahuah, If ye will not hearken to me, to walk in my Torah, which I have set before you, to hearken to the words of my servants the prophets, whom I sent unto you, both rising up early, and sending them, but ye have not hearkened, then will I make this house like Shiloh, and will make this city a curse to all the nations of the earth. So the priests and the prophets and all the people heard Yirmeyahu speaking these words in the house of Yahuah. Now it came to pass, when Yirmeyahu had made an end of speaking all that Yahuah had commanded him to speak unto all the people, that the priests and the prophets and all the people took him, saying, You shall surely die. Why have you prophesied in the name of Yahuah, saying, This house shall be like Shiloh, and this city shall be desolate without an inhabitant? And all the people were gathered against Yirmeyahu in the house of Yahuah. When the princes of Yahudah heard these things, then they came up from the king's house unto the house of Yahuah, and sat down in the entry of the new gate of Yahuah's house. Then spoke the priests and the prophets unto the princes and to all the people, saying, This man is worthy to die, for he has prophesied against this city, as ye have heard with your ears. Then spoke Yirmeyahu unto all the princes and to all the people, saying, Yahuah sent me to prophesy against this house and against this city all the words that ye have heard. Therefore now amend your ways and your doings, and obey the voice of Yahuah Elohim, and Yahuah will repent of the evil that he has pronounced against you. As for me, behold, I am in your hand, do with me as seems good and meet unto you. But know ye for certain, that if ye put me to death, ye shall surely bring innocent blood upon yourselves, and upon this city, and upon the inhabitants thereof. For of a truth Yahuah has sent me unto you to speak all these words in your ears. Then said the princes, and all the people unto the priests and to the prophets, This man is not worthy to die, for he has spoken to us in the name of Yahuah Eloheinu. Then rose up certain of the elders of the land, and spoke to all the assembly of the people, saying, Mikayahu the Morashti prophesied in the days of Yechizkiyahu king of Yahudah, and spoke to all the people of Yahudah, saying, Thus says Yahuah Tsevaoth, Zion shall be plowed like a field, and Yerushalayim shall become heaps, and the mountain of the house as the high places of a forest. Did Yechizkiyahu king of Yehuda and all Yehuda put him at all to death? Did he not fear Yahuah, and besought Yahuah, and Yahuah repented of the evil which he had pronounced against them? Thus might we procure great evil against our souls. And there was also a man that prophesied in the name of Yahuah, Yirmeyahu, the son of Yirmeyahu of Kiryat Yearim, who prophesied against this city and against this land according to all the words of Yirmeyahu. And when Yahoiakim the king, with all his mighty men, and all the princes heard his words, the king sought to put him to death. But when Yirmeyahu heard it, he was afraid, and fled, and went into Mitzrayim. And Yahoiakim the king sent Elnathan the son of Achbor, and certain men with him into Mitzrayim. And they fetched forth Yirmeyahu out of Mitzrayim, and brought him unto Yahoiakim the king, who slew him with the sword, and cast his dead body into the graves of the common people. Nevertheless the hand of Achikam the son of Shaphan was with Yirmeyahu, that they should not give him into the hand of the people to put him to death. Chapter 27. In the beginning of the reign of Yahoiakim, the son of Yoshiyahu king of Yehuda, came this word unto Yirmeyahu from Yahuah, saying, Thus says Yahuah to me, Make you bonds and yokes, and put them upon your neck, and send them to the king of Edom, and to the king of Moab, and to the king of the Ammonim, and to the king of Tzor, and to the king of Sidon, by the hand of the messengers which come to Yerushalayim unto Tzidkiyahu king of Yehuda. And command them to say unto their Adonim, Thus says Yahuah Tzevaoth, the Elohai of Yashar'el, Thus shall ye say unto your Adonim, I have made the earth, the man and the beast that are upon the ground, by my great power and by my outstretched arm, and have given it unto whom it seemed meet unto me. And now have I given all these lands into the hand of Nebuchadnezzar the king of Babel, my servant, and the beasts of the field have I given him also to serve him. And all nations shall serve him, and his son, and his son's son, until the very time of his land come, and then many nations and great kings shall serve themselves of him. And it shall come to pass, that the nation and kingdom which will not serve the same Nebuchadnezzar the king of Babel, and that will not put their neck under the yoke of the king of Babel, that nation will I punish, says Yahuah, with the sword and pestilence, until I have consumed them by his hand. Therefore hearken not ye to your prophets, nor to your diviners, nor to your dreamers, nor to your enchanters, nor to your sorcerers, which speak unto you, saying, Ye shall not serve the king of Babel, for they prophesy a lie unto you, to remove you far from your land, and that I should drive you out, and ye should perish. But the nations that bring their neck under the yoke of the king of Babel, and serve him, those will I let remain still in their own land, says Yahuah, and they shall till it and dwell therein. I spoke also to Tzidkiyahu king of Yehuda, according to all these words, saying, Bring your necks under the yoke of the king of Babel, and serve him and his people, and live. Why will ye die, you and your people, by the sword, by the famine, and by the pestilence, as Yahuah has spoken against the nation that will not serve the king of Babel? Therefore hearken not unto the words of the prophets that speak unto you, saying, Ye shall not serve the king of Babel, for they prophesy a lie unto you. For I have not sent them, says Yahuah, yet they prophesy a lie in my name, that I might drive you out, and that ye might perish, ye and the prophets that prophesy unto you. Also I spoke to the priests and to all this people, saying, Thus says Yahuah, Hearken not to the words of your prophets that prophesy unto you, saying, Behold, the vessels of Yahuah's house shall now shortly be brought again from Babel, for they prophesy a lie unto you. Hearken not unto them, serve the king of Babel and live. Wherefore should this city be laid waste? But if they be prophets, and if the word of Yahuah be with them, let them now make intercession to Yahuah Tzevaoth, that the vessels which are left in the house of Yahuah, and in the house of the king of Yehuda, and at Yerushalayim, go not to Babel. For thus says Yahuah Tsevaoth concerning the pillars, and concerning the sea, and concerning the bases, and concerning the remnant of the vessels that remain in this city, which Nebuchadnezzar king of Babel took not, when he carried away captive Yirmeyahu the son of Yahoiakim king of Yehudah from Yerushalayim to Babel, and all the nobles of Yehudah and Yerushalayim. Yea, thus says Yahuah Tsevaoth, the Elohai of Yashar'el, concerning the vessels remain in the house of Yahuah, and in the house of the king of Yehudah and of Yerushalayim. They shall be carried to Babel, and there shall they be until the day that I visit them, says Yahuah. Then will I bring them up and restore them to this place. Chapter 28. And it came to pass the same year, in the beginning of the reign of Tzidkiyahu king of Yehudah, in the 4th year, and in the 5th month, that Hananiah the son of Azur the prophet, which was of Givon, spoke unto me in the house of Yahuah, in the presence of the priests and of all the people, saying, Thus speaks Yahuah Tsevaoth, the Elohai of Yashar'el, saying, I have broken the yoke of the king of Babel. Within 2 full years will I bring again into this place all the vessels of Yahuah's house, that Nebuchadnezzar king of Babel took away from this place, and carried them to Babel. And I will bring again to this place Yirmeyahu the son of Yahoiakim king of Yehudah, with all the captives of Yehudah that went into Babel, says Yahuah, for I will break the yoke of the king of Babel. Then the prophet Yirmeyahu said unto the prophet Hananiah in the presence of the priests, and in the presence of all the people that stood in the house of Yahuah. Even the prophet Yirmeyahu said, Amen, Yahuah do so. Yahuah perform your words which you have prophesied to bring again the vessels of Yahuah's house, and all that is carried away captive from Babel into this place. Nevertheless, hear you now this word that I speak in your ears, and in the ears of all the people. The prophets that have been before me and before you of old prophesied both against many countries, and against great kingdoms, of war, and of evil, and of pestilence. The prophet who prophesies of peace. When the word of the prophet shall come to pass, then shall the prophet be known, that Yahuah has truly sent him. Then Hananiah the prophet took the yoke from off the prophet Yirmeyahu's neck, and broke it. And Hananiah spoke in the presence of all the people, saying, Thus says Yahuah, even so will break the yoke of Nebuchadnezzar king of Babel from the neck of all nations within the space of 2 full years. And the prophet Yirmeyahu went his way. Then the word of Yahuah came unto Yirmeyahu the prophet. After that Hananiah the prophet had broken the yoke from off the neck of the prophet Yirmeyahu, saying, Go and tell Hananiah, saying, Thus says Yahuah, You have broken the yokes of wood, but you shall make for them yokes of iron. For thus says Yahuah Tsevaoth, the Elohai of Yashar'el, I have put a yoke of iron upon the neck of all these nations, that they may serve Nebuchadnezzar king of Babel, and they shall serve him. And I have given him the beasts of the field also. Then said the prophet Yirmeyahu unto Hananiah the prophet, Hear now, Hananiah, Yahuah has not sent you, but you make this people to trust in a lie. Therefore thus says Yahuah, Behold, I will cast you from off the face of the earth. This year you shall die, because you have taught rebellion against Yahuah. So Hananiah the prophet died the same year in the 7th month. Chapter 29. Now these are the words of the Cepher, that Yirmeyahu the prophet sent from Yerushalayim unto the remnant of the elders, which were carried away captives, and to the priests, and to the prophets, and to all the people whom Nebuchadnezzar had carried away captive from Yerushalayim to Babel. After that, Yirmeyahu the king and the queen, and the eunuchs, the princes of Yehudah and Yerushalayim, and the carpenters and the smiths were departed from Yerushalayim, by the hand of Elasa the son of Shaphan, and Gemariahu the son of Chilkiyahu, whom Tzidkiyahu king of Yehudah sent unto Babel to Nebuchadnezzar king of Babel, saying, Thus says Yahuah Tsevaoth, the Elohai of Yashar'el, unto all that are carried away captives, whom I have caused to be carried away from Yerushalayim unto Babel. Build ye houses and dwell in them, and plant gardens, and eat the fruit of them. Take ye women, and beget sons and daughters, and take women for your sons, and give your daughters to men, that they may bear sons and daughters, that ye may be increased there, and not diminished. And seek the peace of the city whither I have caused you to be carried away captives, and pray unto Yahuah for it. For in the peace thereof shall ye have peace. For thus says Yahuah Tsevaoth, the Elohai of Yashar'el, let not your prophets and your diviners that be in the midst of you deceive you, neither hearken to your dreams which ye cause to be dreamed. For they prophesy falsely unto you in my name. I have not sent them, says Yahuah. For thus says Yahuah, that after 70 years be accomplished at Babel, I will visit you and perform my good word toward you, in causing you to return to this place. For I know the thoughts that I think toward you, says Yahuah, thoughts of peace, and not of evil, to give you an expected end. Then shall ye call upon me, and ye shall go and pray unto me, and I will hearken unto you. And ye shall seek me, and find me, when ye shall search for me with all your heart. And I will be found of you, says Yahuah, and I will turn away your captivity, and I will gather you from all the nations, and from all the places whither I have driven you, says Yahuah, and I will bring you again into the place whence I caused you to be carried away captive. Because ye have said, Yahuah has raised us up prophets in Babel, know that thus says Yahuah of the king that sits upon the throne of David, and of all the people that dwell in this city, and of your brethren that are not gone forth with you into captivity. Thus says Yahuah Tsevaoth, behold, I will send upon them the sword, the famine, and the pestilence, and will make them like vile figs that cannot be eaten. They are so evil. And I will persecute them with the sword, with the famine, and with the pestilence, and will deliver them to be removed to all the kingdoms of the earth, to be a curse and an astonishment, and a hissing, and a reproach, among all the nations whither I have driven them, because they have not hearkened to my words, says Yahuah, which I sent unto them by my servants the prophets, rising up early and sending them. But ye would not hear, says Yahuah. Hear ye therefore the word of Yahuah, all ye of the captivity, whom I have sent from Jerusalem to Babel. Thus says Yahuah Tsevaoth, the Elohai of Yashar'el, of Achav the son of Koliah, and of Tzidkiyahu the son of Maaseyahu, which prophesy a lie unto you in my name. Behold, I will deliver them into the hand of Nebuchadnezzar king of Babel, and he shall stay them before your eyes. And of them shall be taken up a curse by all the captivity of Yehudah which are in Babel, saying, Yahuah make you like Tzidkiyahu, and like Achav whom the king of Babel roasted in the fire, because they have committed villainy in Yashar'el, and have broken wedlock with their neighbors' women, and have spoken lying words in my name, which I have not commanded them, even I know, and am a witness, says Yahuah. Thus shall you also speak to Yirmeyahu the Nechelami, saying, Thus speaks Yahuah Tsevaoth, the Elohai of Yashar'el, saying, Because you have sent Sepharim in your name unto all the people that are at Jerusalem, and to Zephaniah the son of Maaseyahu the priest, and to all the priests, saying, Yahuah has made you priest in the stead of Yahuiada the priest, that ye should be officers in the house of Yahuah. For every man that is mad, and makes himself a prophet, that you should put him in prison, and in the stocks. Now therefore why have you not reproved Yirmeyahu of Anathoth, which makes himself a prophet to you? For therefore he sent unto us in Babel, saying, This captivity is long, build ye houses, and dwell in them, and plant gardens, and eat the fruit of them. And Zephaniah the priest read this Cepher in the ears of Yirmeyahu the prophet. Then came the word of Yahuah unto Yirmeyahu, saying, Send to all them of the captivity, saying, Thus says Yahuah concerning Yirmeyahu the Nechelami, because that Yirmeyahu has prophesied unto you, and I sent him not, and he caused you to trust in a lie. Therefore thus says Yahuah, Behold, I will punish Yirmeyahu the Nechelami and his seed. He shall not have a man to dwell among this people, Neither shall he behold the good that I will do for my people, says Yahuah, because he has taught rebellion against Yahuah. Chapter 30. The word that came to Yirmeyahu from Yahuah, saying, Thus speaks Yahuah Elohai of Yashar'el, saying, Write you all the words that I have spoken unto you in a Cepher. For lo, the days come, says Yahuah, that I will bring again the captivity of my people Yashar'el and Yahudah, says Yahuah, and I will cause them to return to the land that I gave to their fathers, and they shall possess it. And these are the words that Yahuah spoke concerning Yashar'el and concerning Yahudah. For thus says Yahuah, We have heard a voice of trembling, of fear, and not of peace. Ask ye now, and see whether a man travails with child. Wherefore do I see every man with his hands on his loins, as a woman in travail, and all faces are turned into paleness. Alas, for that day is great, so that none is like it. It is even the time of Yaakov's trouble, but he shall be saved out of it. For it shall come to pass in that day, says Yahuah Tsevaoth, that I will break his yoke from off your neck, and will burst your bonds. And strangers shall no longer serve themselves of him, but they shall serve Yahuah Elohaihem, and David their king, whom I will raise up unto them. Therefore fear you not, O my servant Yaakov, says Yahuah. Neither be dismayed, O Yashar'el, for lo, I will save you from afar, and your seed from the land of their captivity, and Yaakov shall return, and shall be in rest, and be quiet, and none shall make him afraid. For I am with you, says Yahuah, to save you. Though I make a full end of all nations whither I have scattered you, yet will I not make a full end of you, but I will correct you in measure, and will not leave you altogether unpunished. For thus says Yahuah, Your bruise is incurable, and your wound is grievous. There is none to plead your cause, that you may be bound up. You have no healing medicines. All your lovers have forgotten you. They seek you, for I have wounded you with the wound of an enemy, with the chastisement of a cruel one, for the multitude of your iniquity, because your sins were increased. Why cry you for your affliction? Your sorrow is incurable for the multitude of your iniquity, because your sins were increased. I have done these things unto you. Therefore all they that devour you shall be devoured, and all your adversaries, every one of them, shall go into captivity, and they that spoil you shall be a spoil, and all that prey upon you will I give for a prey. For I will restore health unto you, and I will heal you of your wounds, says Yahuah, because they called you an outcast, saying, This is Sion, whom no man seeks after. Thus says Yahuah, Behold, I will bring again the captivity of Yaakov's tents, and have mercy on his dwelling places. And the city shall be built upon her own heap, and the palace shall remain after the manner thereof. And out of them shall proceed thanksgiving, and the voice of them that make merry. And I will multiply them, and they shall not be few. I will also glorify them, and they shall not be small. Their children also shall be as aforetime, and their assembly shall be established before me. And I will punish all that oppress them. And their nobles shall be of themselves, and their governor shall proceed from the midst of them. And I will cause him to draw near, and he shall approach unto me. For who is this that engaged his heart to approach unto me? Says Yahuah, and ye shall be my people, and I will be your Elohim. Behold, the whirlwind of Yahuah goes forth with fury, a continuing whirlwind. It shall fall with pain upon the head of the wicked. The fierce anger of Yahuah shall not return, until he has done it, and until he has performed the intents of his heart. In the latter days ye shall consider it.